Want help to grow your business? Download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.
Welcome back to That Social Media Show. I am your host, Heather Porter. Now, in this episode, we're going to talk about tips and tools to increase your social media engagement. One of my favorite topics out there. Two quick things though before we get started. Number one, we get practical. As always, I love you guys to pull out your laptops or your tablets or your phones and play along because I have loads of amazing little tools and resources to share with you. And I want to make sure that you're signing up for your accounts or you're logging in and using them better. And as always, ask and share. This is That Social Media Show after all. So how do we have a conversation? I'm glad you asked. It's hashtag That Social Media Show. Come on by, let me know what you think of the show. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be out there monitoring you guys and jumping in as well. So what are we going to cover in this episode? How to speak the language of different social media platforms, using Canva to create high engagement graphics, tips on how to use your phone to make impactful and easy to share videos, how to use Feedly and Pocket to curate an endless list of amazing things to share, how to jump on the back of trends or news to pick up more followers, otherwise known as trendjacking. And finally, copywriting on social media, how it differs from email and websites, and what to do instead. Okay, you guys, are you ready? Let's get started. So first of all, we're going to cover how to speak the language of different social media platforms. Now, I want all of you to pretend that you are handbag designers. Now, guys, I know you're absolutely excited, ecstatic, over the moon that you're suddenly a handbag designer, but this is a really simple example, so I want you to stick with me here. So what we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're handbag designers, and we are launching a gorgeous new red handbag. The reason why we're pretending this is because I want to show you how you might talk about a launch of a product on different platforms, okay? So here's our beautiful product we've just created and now we're about ready to launch it. On Facebook, what you'd want to do is get personal. You'd take a photo of the actual photo shoot behind the scenes, right? So Facebook is a really great place that doesn't have a lot of filters yet. It's where people actually connect with your brand or they feel like they could kind of get in the back door and be a VIP or a fly on the wall. And that is exactly what you want to give them. So you're launching your handbag and you have an amazing photo shoot. So what you'd want to do is share behind the scene images and talk candidly about the fact that you're very, very excited about this new launch. Now, what might you do on Instagram? Couple things. Instagram's much more glamorous. It's way more about celebrities and filters and hashtags and showing off your product in its best light. So you could do an image, sort of a how-to or how your bag might look with an outfit to entice people to want to buy it. There's loads of retail brands and really well-known brands out there that are basically, they don't just take their product and stick it on a white background or black background. They put it on a gorgeous model that totally fits the brand or the perfect target market that they're going after, and then they share that. I can't tell you how many times myself, when I'm going down my Instagram stream and I'm checking products out and I'm thinking, wow, she looks amazing, what's she wearing? And then it entices me to have a look, yeah? So this is a perfect example of how to make your bag look fabulous on an amazing model, and then suddenly people are thinking, where do I get it? Another thing, behind the scenes, but kind of glamorous behind the scenes. So we're not doing a sort of snapshot behind the scenes of your photo shoot now. What we're doing is a behind the scenes of how your bag might be used. So this is also, in a previous That Social Media Show episode, we talked about getting your community to contribute content. This is a great way of doing that. You could have them take photos of maybe how they're using your bag. And then they hashtag in a certain hashtag like cool red handbag. And then maybe they go into a draw to win a prize. But it's all about community, yeah? So Instagram is bringing in your users, but it's also enticing them to buy because it's a great place for retail. So moving on, YouTube. So what would you possibly do on YouTube? Well, YouTube's video, right? So it could get really boring really fast if you were just showing a video of your handbag. So again, what could you do to get people involved in your handbag story? YouTube's all about tutorials, but it's also about entertainment and storytelling. So let's pretend that she is the designer. That's you, guys. That's you on the camera. So she's the designer, and she's telling the story about how she sourced red leather that's faux leather. It doesn't damage or harm any animals. And she's going through the whole journey of how, she sourced the leather, how the bags are made, and she's really inviting you in to have a piece of the story of the brand. So YouTube is all about video, but get creative, because if you're selling something, a demo may or may not work. Whereas if you're launching, say, a new software program or an event, then absolutely a demo could work. But you're starting to see the differences, right? So we've had behind the scenes, we have sort of celebrity, make your product or service look amazing. We've had collaborative content, and we have you as the CEO or the brand manager talking about the brand or telling the story behind the launch. Next up, we have Pinterest. Love this one. So Pinterest is all about basically pinning images of what you want to be like or do or buy. Perfect way of highlighting your products or service is showing other people that love it, especially celebrities, especially when you're selling something, right? So if you're seeing on your Pinterest board, you see these amazing celebrities and you have this gorgeous red handbag. It's not your handbag, by the way, keep that in mental note. This is just your product being used by a celebrity. It's the type of product that you sell. So you can absolutely get creative here and find celebrities or change makers or thought leaders in your space if you're in services or consulting that are doing something that is what your product or service also does. And then you can highlight them because celebrities catch attention. And by looking at that and you're seeing that suddenly this red handbag's gorgeous, then obviously off the back end of the pin, then you would have a link back to your sales page. And as we know, for those of you that have tuned into our Pinterest episode, it's the highest social media platform for buying. It's where women with disposable income go. It's a great place to be if you're selling something. All right, so Twitter. What would you possibly do on Twitter? So we know Twitter's a really quick little social platform. You can definitely use images, and you should. But if you're keeping in mind that Twitter is quick, this, again, is kind of a how-to. You could cross-pollinate the one that we just spoke about on Instagram, where you have a how-to, where you have, you're showing how the bag's being used. You could do the same thing on Instagram or on Twitter. This is where I start to go crazy, guys, because I have so many social media names in my mind that it's kind of hard to keep track of them. So if I'm feeling like that, I have no idea what you must be feeling like. Anyway, so Twitter is a good visual, but also they've used some great hashtags in here. They have your hashtag handbag, ever end up in a mess so often, organize your bag in no time with simple tips. So they're not actually selling a handbag, but they're giving you tips on how you might want to improve your handbag situation. So how would that work possibly as a brand if you're selling a handbag? Well, whoever educates you is oftentimes the person you want to buy from. There's a brand in, I think it's America. It's, I want to say, it's like Bunnings or Home Depot. It's one of those types of brands. And what they do on their social accounts is they do loads of education about home improvement, something similar to this. And of course, when you're looking at this gorgeous image and you're thinking, I want that in my life, then front of mind is them because they showed you how to get that. So then you go and you buy your power drill from them. Same thing goes here. If you're giving tips on how to organize a handbag, well, guess who you might be going to get your next red handbag? So I know that was incredibly exciting for you guys, so thanks for hanging in there. And for ladies, you probably have some great ideas, especially if you're in the fashion space. So I love this book. I have to shout out to Gary Vaynerchuk. Vaynerchuk is always what he says. Jab, 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 right hook. And it's a great book because what it does is it walks you through how brands are doing exactly what I basically showed you to do, which is telling the story that's native to the platform. If you try to use the same image or the same conversation and you put it out on all the same platforms, you will bomb. And that's just simply because each platform has a different demographic, different ways of communicating. Some use hashtags, some don't, as we know. So great little read. You know what I've done with this is I stuck it on my, I have a Kindle app on my iPad, and I basically flick through it every now and again for inspiration because it's lots of images and case studies, so I highly recommend it. All right, you guys. Now we're moving on to how to use BuzzSumo to find out what people are sharing on social media. There are so many tools that exist out there, I know, and I know that probably some of you use different tools. But what I have found is that these tools that I'm sharing this episode basically are really, really easy to use for most of us. They don't go too advanced, and you can get the results that you want, which after all is how do you get more engagement. So, as always, I love to share things on my computer, so that's exactly what we are about to do together, you guys. So I would love to invite you on over. Come on in. We're going in. Whip out your computer and your phone, and let's have a play. So here we are. We're on buzzsumo.com. I'm already logged in, so you can get a free account or you can also get a paid account. buzzsumo.com, B-U-Z-Z or Z-Z-S-U-M-O.com. Now what this is a pretty cool tool. What we're looking at here is the dashboard, and you can basically see what is the most shared and what is trending now, and you can even sort by the top authors out there, the top influencers. So let's just have a little play, and let's look at red handbag, shall we? Because we're on that case of the red handbag. Which, by the way, I have no idea how I thought of red handbag. It was one of those random late night moments when I was sitting here preparing the slides in this chat for you guys, and I just thought, yeah, what red handbag? Makes no sense. But anyway, it proves a point. All right, so red handbag. And did I spell that right? Hopefully, we'll see what happens. We'll do search. All right. Cool. So what we're looking at now is we're looking at a whole load of results. And what I didn't do is put the double quotes on either side of the word red handbag. So you're seeing my words red and handbag all over the place in the results. So what I want to do instead is do double quotes on either side. So it's keeping the phrase all together. So you see the difference now on your screen? You can see where it's basically saying stylish red handbag, and it's keeping all the words intact. So what I'm looking at here is I'm looking to see if the topic of red handbag is being shared at all. This tool is basically telling me which articles out there are being shared the most on social media. You can see on the right-hand side, it's telling me how many Facebook shares, LinkedIn shares, Twitter shares, etc. There's not a lot of shares with the red handbag.
To continue enjoying this presentation, download BRiN, the world's first business advisor in your pocket. To find out more, visit BRiN.ai or search the App Store today.